All right, today's discussion. So, today is day 3 off of social media. Let me adjust the camera a bit. Today is day 3 off of social media. So, I'm a nurse, so, um, home care nurse. So, there's a lot of downtime when my patient's resting and things like that. Um, Hence the scrubs. So, day 3 of a social media. Happier already. Less noise in the back of the head. It's been really rainy weather here on Oahu. It's March 6th now. I got off social media, or my last social media, Instagram, on March 3rd. So, just on that quest to be more authentic and less manipulated by social media. So one thing I did this morning was I completely deleted all of my subscriptions to YouTube. Everyone that I've been subscribed to since I got on YouTube, I don't know, 10 years. So 10 years worth of subscriptions, and I noticed that those subscriptions, or the videos that I thumbed up, were same thing like Instagram or Facebook. They have a computer algorithm following what I subscribe to, what I watch, what I thumb up, and it gives me a recommendation watch list in my watch list when you hit home on YouTube. So I just wanted to wipe the slate clean and start fresh. So it looks like I'm probably not gonna be subscribing to any channels, won't be liking any videos, um, won't be commenting on any videos, because I think all those things, along with how many minutes or seconds you watch particular videos, it's all monitored. It is all monitored through YouTube's algorithm. So, in a quest to be more authentic, I've already found that in the morning I wake up happier. I'm not bombarded by world news or world tragic events, or the 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 virus, in your face, with all that social media white noise screaming at you. I mean, I listen to the radio on my way to work too, and I found the radio has a lot of negative effects as well on the subconscious. So just trying to protect my subconscious and my focus on God, um, because there's so much distractions through newspapers, TV commercials, radio infomercials, advertisements on YouTube, Instagram, Facebook. I've never been on Twitter. I was on TikTok for maybe a day or two just to see what it was about, and that was just my day or two experience on TikTok was just, it was insane. It just seemed like a whole lot of teenagers with too much energy and no hobbies outside of TikTok, basically doing things on TikTok for clout. And I'm 38 years old, so the whole clout life thing is super bizarre to me. Like I can remember when I used to host or help host a bicycle ride in person, bicycle ride called Wednesday Night Cruise, WNC, Wednesday Night Cruise, in the town that I live in, which is Eva Beach. And about sunset, I don't know, 8 p.m. All of us would meet in the parking lot of a supermarket, which was Geiger Foodland parking lot near the bank and the crack seed area. And we would all this was the very early, or I think it was the early days of Instagram. So I wasn't on Instagram yet. So Facebook was already around. It's been around for, I don't know, I think it's an adult already. Facebook is probably 18 years old already. But I've been off Facebook before. I've done detoxes from Facebook. I've been off of Facebook since the election because it was just super toxic, like mentally toxic. I would think about it all the time, or like, what's the new thing that's going on with the Republican or Democrat Party, and it was just very manipulative. Like a video I had watched the other day was about being in your own echo chamber or your own bubble center or whatever it's called. It's like when you only get perspectives of one side, whether it's left or right or Democrat or Republican, you start to have a very narrow vision. And you start to just be with like-minded people who are angry at the same things, like the same things, dislike the same things, and that becomes your subconscious if you don't ever question it or get others' perspectives, which face-to-face is the best. Face-to-face with someone you come across at a cafe or in a bookstore or at a Blockbuster, or just the analog life, which is all nostalgic now. But okay, I digress. But I wanted to talk about Polaroid cameras, the analog life, and some of those things also, because I've been watching some videos on other people detaching or unplugging from the social media world, and it's been very refreshing, very intriguing on what they're doing while they're off of social media in the downtime, which is good, because the norm is to scroll through social media, like, comment, share, message people on social media, thinking that that's actual interactions or people who care about you. But a phone call or a Skype call, video call with friends, loved ones, people who are actually in your social circle that you do know in real life, face to face, because in today's society, I guess, you can get really caught up, or I got really caught up in communicating with people I would probably never ever meet or see in real life. So it's kind of like you're in a fabricated imaginary world all the time, and the people you come across in everyday life become afterthoughts, or you don't seek them out, which I think it should be the other way around, or not the current paradigm that it is. So, okay, back to Instagram. So, already off Facebook, third day off Instagram. And it affects me most in the morning, because in the morning I would check Instagram maybe 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 times, and just to see what's going on in the jump rope community on Instagram, on the calisthenics community on Instagram. But it was, a lot of it was subconscious comparisons, which kind of bummed out my day, because I would see people do amazing jump rope tricks, and I'd be like, oh man, I'm stuck at work, or on my lunch break. Should I even work on some jump rope tricks or moves, because I'll never land these moves as good as XYZ. So it was just like failure by, it was like paralysis by analysis, which I believe is super true. Same as why I got off of Strava and all that. When you see people clocking like 21 miles per hour for 50 miles, or doing these 100-mile rides in like 4 hours, you're just like, man, in the back of your head you're like, man, I'm not as fast. Should I even try? Should I even attempt? Should I even go out and ride my bike? It was like a constant bumming my trip loop circle, negative feedback loop. That's what it is. If you've studied anything in psychology, like Pavlov, the case of the drooling dog, things like that, it's like it is conditioned. It is a conditioned way of thinking to, even though you don't want to compare, you just compare by nature. Okay, alcohol, hydrogen peroxide. Your brain automatically says, okay, don't pour this on a wound, it's gonna sting. Put the hydrogen peroxide on, it'll be better. More aeration, but at the same time this disinfects really well. So they're two different colors. You just do the comparison without thinking. But the thing is, when you're bombarded by algorithms from computers, from basically artificial intelligence, it affects your subconscious, because your brain, not that I believe in evolution, but your brain is not hardwired to know all that information. Because think about it, 200 years ago or whatever, there was newspapers, there was letters. That's how you would get information from around the world. I don't know, you might even have to go back 300 years, but it wasn't like you turn on your phone. I don't have Briefing either, which is that news app, because a lot of it is propaganda. And you don't want to be bombarded by propaganda or someone's or something's agenda. You want to be in a search to be authentic. You want the majority of your ideas to come from your own experiences in order to be your most authentic self. Because if you're constantly bombarded with one side of thinking, like I had said, that will become your thought bubble, which, for good or bad, it's just one side. So that's the dangerous part about social media. So yeah, I'm not saying everybody should get off social media or anything like that, but everyone does have to take a step back and take a hard look at how they interact with social media, and question whether or not social media is a tool they're using, or social media is a tool using them. That's pretty much it. So yeah, got really happy seeing a Polaroid camera at Target the other day. My wife already has one of those Instastax mini Polaroids, which I have a couple photos of my son. He used it to take selfies with the mini Polaroid, and it gives you a mini Polaroid actual picture. So I was really stoked to see that analog Polaroid camera, because you don't just mindlessly take shots like you do with your cell phone or a digital camera, because it's so easy to delete, or it's so easy to take 20-30 pictures and just be like, I'll sift through it later. But with a Polaroid, you have limited film, actual film. When you press that button, that shutter, you take one photograph, and it prints out, and you have to wait to see the result. So when you're looking through the aperture, or whatever that it's called, you're in the moment taking one snapshot, and you want it to be good, because it's not like digital where you could just be like, I don't care, here, take 10, bing, bing, bing. So like, yeah, one of my big goals for 2021, return to analog, have more authentic meetups with people, meet with people at a cafe, do meetups again. Don't live in fear. Yeah, do not live in fear. That is super toxic. Be safe. Do safe meetups. Get out into nature. Go hiking. Take Polaroid shots. Try new things. Be more in the present moment and less for the virtual world. Just read a book. That's one reason why I always had a paper calendar, and I like to write things down in a notebook, because you're unplugging from the proverbial matrix. And I believe the more you unplug, the more you can hear God's voice and walk with God. Because how can you walk with God if you're constantly bombarded with the problems of the world, getting notifications about likes or comments on whatever social media you're on, or just being influenced in one direction all the time? Like, you can't focus on the important things in life, or it'll be harder to focus on the important things in life when you're constantly bombarded, especially by social media. And I agree, it's not good for kids, or young kids, or teenagers, because they don't understand or have a concept of their self potential, or their self worth, or things like that. Getting a phone call now, so I gotta go. Peace.